Welcome Dash fam. I'm the best dasher alive, aka eDaddy Dasher, and I'm giving you the ultimate DoorDash delivery or just food delivery in general on any type of bike bag tour. So here's the bag, and first we'll do an exterior tour of the bag, and then I'll give you an interior look at it, and I'll also break down a few things I've added to it to make this even more efficient. And this bag and anything else I mentioned will be linked in the description of this video. One thing I did was try and just get the cheapest setup possible and the simplest, most minimalist setup possible. I didn't want a bunch of bells and whistles. I didn't want it to be expensive. I wanted it to just be a bag I could get quick and that I could put to use immediately, and it would just work really well. And this did that kind of at the start, but then I figured out I needed to do a couple things to it, so I added a couple things which I'll explain, and then it did turn into a great bag. And to be very, very honest with you, I'm considering making my own bag and then maybe letting some of y'all get it if y'all want to. Right here on the very front, it has a big pocket. I've got this sitting in there. I'll talk more about this in a second. I'm gonna close this pocket for now, and you'll see that it's got a zipper right here on the front. If you unzip that, it's got a little pocket right there that could easily fit a wallet or whatever you want right there. I don't keep anything in there. So let's pop this open. A couple of Velcro strips right there. Those work nice. Never had an issue with those. Inside of this pocket, it's a pretty big pocket. I mean, you can definitely fit 3-4 iPads in there, something like that. So it's a pretty good sized pocket. Number one thing I like to carry in this pocket is a microfiber rag. Doesn't have to be yellow, can be any color you want. Maybe I should get a little bit more of a subtle color actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Because what I use this bag for is if something happens, gets spilled, gets a little messy, I need to clean it up a little bit before I go drop it off on the doorstep. That's what this is for. Honestly, I've only had to use this like 5 times because what I figured out with this bag and the couple things I've added to it, I don't really have issues with spilling stuff or stuff getting too messy. Item number 2, there are 3 total items in this front pouch. Item number 2, this was the first solution to a problem that I discovered. Simply some Scotch tape. Let's pause on the front pocket real fast. If I spin this to the side, you'll see we've got 2 pouches here, cup holders. I've got this big bottle, let's see, this is 50.7 fluid ounces. And then right here, we've got your traditional glass soda bottle sitting at a nice 12 fluid ounces. Both of those fit nicely in the side of this bag. The wheelies that you saw me doing, I had all this loaded in the bag on those wheelies, so all this stayed intact, just FYI. Spin it to the other side, we've got 2 more cup holders. The issue with these types of cups that have these types of lids, the combination of the fabric right here and this elastic strip right here is basically guaranteed to pop that lid off the drink. On the top of coffee cups, there are 2 holes. What would happen as I'm riding is, you know, do a little bit of jiggling, and you got liquid popping out the top of the cap here. And because restaurants gotta be so cheap, like legit so cheap, that they won't even put plugs in their cups, you gotta figure out how to plug it yourself. So that's first where the Scotch tape came into play, is I started using Scotch tape on top of there. But then I figured, like, why am I trying to be so cheap like these restaurants? I'm the best dasher alive, aka Tim Doordashian, from all these DoorDash stacks that be making my pockets swell, making my booty look fat. I was like, why don't I just buy some coffee cup plugs myself? And that's the 3rd item in this front pouch here. I just got a little Ziploc full of little coffee cup plugs. So whenever I get a coffee cup from a restaurant that's too cheap to plug it itself, I just take one of these bad boys, slip it right in there, and now I got a nice plugged coffee cup. There is still that little hole, and if I think that's gonna be problematic, slip a little piece of tape on top of there. Now, with all that said, I don't ever use these exterior cup holders. I figured out how to do that on the inside, where the temperature is regulated by thermally reflective material. Yep, you heard that right. And then you've got your just regular backpack shoulder straps here. They're comfortable. You can adjust them as you needed. They work just like they should. There is this little strap, which if you try and use that strap, you just spilled everything that's on the inside of the bag. I'll pinch the whole thing right here, and that way I can actually keep it flat. But here's one of my main designs that I would change here is this strap right here is stupid. It needs to go right here on top of the bag, or even 2 of those right here. So you can just pick it up from the top and carry it like this. It's just got a lid on top of it and a zipper that runs all the way along it. Okay, so here's this big, huge Panera bag packed completely full. On the top of it here, I've got another one of these, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. An 8-pack of 12 fluid ounce cans of sparkling lime water. 18-pack of 12-ounce Diet Coke cans. And then we've got just your traditional DoorDash, throw it in a grocery bag and tie it up, DoorDash delivery. And that's all I've got in this bag right now. I have definitely carried this much liquid or even more in this bag before, and that adds a lot of weight to this bag, puts a lot of stress on the straps and everything, and it does just fine. I haven't had any issues with the stitching or straps tearing. These are cup holders. Like I said, linked in the description. Oh, also the coffee cup plugs, linked in the description. Just cheap stuff off of Amazon, that's all this is. Like I said, I wanted it to be cheap and I just wanted it to work really well, and I believe that's what I found here. These are really easy to wash if they ever get dirty. They're really easy to slip in and out, and they don't only work as cup holders, I actually found them to be multi-purpose. Stuffed I have this thing sometimes. Yeah. You just take one, slide it all the way to the bottom, shove it into the corner. Take the other one, slide it all the way to the bottom. So if I take this and throw it in right there, you can see it chills nice in those cup holders. If I grab this coffee cup right here, you can see that it chills nicely right there. Super easy to slip it in and out, not dealing at all with lids popping off. Slip that in there. And boom. So that gives you 8 additional slots for beverages on the interior of your bag, so you can keep them cold, with an additional 4 on the exterior. Now, depending on the shape of the bottles and cups that you're putting on the interior, you might not be able to get a full 8 in there, just because they get too close to each other to be able to slip one in every hole. But I mean, easily you can fit 4 on the inside, 5 on the inside. 2 different size pizza boxes here. This is just your typical Blaze Pizza personal size. I think it's 11 inches. And then this is a more traditional size, bigger pizza. This is a 16-inch box. Bigger than this is absolutely not possible with this bag. You gotta lay the bag down on its side, because obviously it's not gonna slip right in the top laying flat. So you lay the bag down on its back, and then the pizza does slip in there. But the issue with a 16-inch is it's just a little bit too wide, and you're not going to be able to get a full zip all the way around the bag. But in a situation where I got to take a 16-incher, and I can, so I'm not going to unassign it, I'll give one of the sides a zip like that, and then I'll hop on the back of my bike towards the back of the seat, and then I'll just slip this right here, and I'll kind of inch up to it a little bit, and then that stays right there stable. And this little bit of the box right here poking out, it's not ideal, I will admit that, but since enough of it is inside of this thermal regulated bag, the pizza does stay hot, and I'm able to balance it right here and cruise around with it right here without any issues. Now, one issue this material causes with these cardboard pizza boxes is the pizza's hot, you slip it in here, it sits right on top of this fabric that reflects the heat. And what I noticed happened a couple times is the bottom, the cardboard right here, got so hot and so moist that when I picked it up to go hand it to the customer, it just felt damp underneath there. What I learned was, oh, I've got these nice little vents right here. So I can just take these and slip it underneath the pizza. And you only need to even actually use one of them, but you can definitely slip both of them in there. And now your pizza is sitting on a nice platform where air can move around freely, and the bottom of your pizza box, the cardboard, will just stay perfect. And your pizza will still stay perfectly hot. And so these little guys, you can just do the exact same thing, right? They fit no problem if you just want to lay the bag down on its back. But these pizzas are actually small enough that you can use the bag regularly as a backpack, and these will still fit right in the top of it. So right there, I've got it in there, and you can see it fits perfectly square in there. And since it fits so snug, the top of the bag here just holds it right in place. If I shake it, that pizza is still in there sturdy. It's not going anywhere. But if you're really worried about it not having any sort of platform underneath it, that's where these again are multi-purpose. And you just take your cup holders and you stand them up in the tallest way possible. And then now you do have a platform for the small personal size pizzas. So let's say I've got these 2 orders. How am I gonna carry them? So what I would do is I'd take this bag, get it in there. If this fits right inside of there, and it does in this case, I'll just throw that second order right inside the bag, so that makes it easy for everything to fit. But you just gotta be careful that you don't just grab the whole thing and go drop it off on someone's doorstep without taking out the other person's order first. But if it's already stapled shut, then I don't have the option to put this inside of there. So I definitely just grab the bag, I'll fold it down a little bit, and then I'll just take this other one and put it right on top of there. And then now everything fits just fine.